A sense is what has the power of receiving into itself the sensible forms of things without the matter. In the way in which a piece of wax takes on the impress of a signet ring without the iron or gold. What the statesman is most anxious to produce is a certain moral character in his fellow citizens, namely a disposition to virtue and the performance of virtuous actions. Thou wilt find rest from vain fancies if thou doest every act in life as though it were thy last. We are not angry with people we fear or respect, as long as we fear or respect them. You cannot be afraid of a person and also at the same time angry with him. Hence poetry is something more philosophic and of graver import than history, since its statements are rather of the nature of universals, whereas those of history are singulars. Different men seek after happiness in different ways and by different means, and so make for themselves different modes of life and forms of government. The poet, being an imitator like a painter or any other artist, must of necessity imitate one of three objects: things as they were or are, things as they are said or thought to be, or things as they ought to be. The vehicle of expression is language, either current terms or, it may be, rare words or metaphors. It is not once nor twice but times without number that the same ideas make their appearance in the world. Some animals are cunning and evil-disposed, as the fox; others, as the dog, are fierce, friendly, and fawning; some are gentle and easily tamed, as the elephant; some are susceptible of shame, and watchful, as the goose; some are jealous and fond of ornament, as the peacock. Even when laws have been written down, they ought not always to remain unaltered. Those who educate children well are more to be honored than they who produce them, for these only gave them life, those the art of living well. Every art and every inquiry, and similarly every action and choice, is thought to aim at some good, and for this reason the good has rightly been declared to be that at which all things aim. Some animals are cunning and evil-disposed, as the fox; others, as the dog, are fierce, friendly, and fawning; some are gentle and easily tamed, as the elephant; some are susceptible of shame, and watchful, as the goose; some are jealous and fond of ornament, as the peacock. Without friends no one would choose to live, though he had all other goods. For one swallow does not make a summer, nor does one day and so too one day, or a short time, does not make a man blessed and happy. Men create gods after their own image, not only with regard to their form but with regard to their mode of life. We must no more ask whether the soul and body are one than ask whether the wax and the figure impressed on it are one. The duty of rhetoric is to deal with such matters as we deliberate upon without arts or systems to guide us, in the hearing of persons who cannot take in at a glance a complicated argument or follow a long chain of reasoning. Even when laws have been written down, they ought not always to remain unaltered. Poetry is finer and more philosophical than history, for poetry expresses the universal, and history only the particular. Anybody can become angry, that is easy, but to be angry with the right person and to the right degree and at the right time and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power and is not easy. You will never do anything in this world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who conquers his enemies, for the hardest victory is over self. Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others. The ultimate value of life depends upon awareness and the power of contemplation rather than upon mere survival. Jealousy is both reasonable and belongs to reasonable men, while envy is base and belongs to the base, for the one makes himself get good things by jealousy, while the other does not allow his neighbor to have them through envy. Mothers are fonder than fathers of their children because they are more certain they are their own. Democracy is when the indigent, and not the men of property, are the rulers. It is best to rise from life as from a banquet, neither thirsty nor drunken. The least initial deviation from the truth is multiplied later 1,000-fold. The ideal man bears the accidents of life with dignity and grace, making the best of circumstances. He who is unable to live in society, or who has no need because he is sufficient for himself, must be either a beast or a god. Republics decline into democracies and democracies degenerate into despotisms. Moral excellence comes about as a result of habit. We become just by doing just acts, temperate by doing temperate acts, brave by doing brave acts. Suffering becomes beautiful when anyone bears great calamities with cheerfulness, not through insensibility but through greatness of mind. A tyrant must put on the appearance of uncommon devotion to religion. Subjects are less apprehensive of illegal treatment from a ruler whom they consider God-fearing and pious. On the other hand, they do less easily move against him, believing that he has the gods on his side. It is just that we should be grateful, not only to those with whose views we may agree, but also to those who have expressed more superficial views, for these also contributed something, by developing before us the powers of thought. To run away from trouble is a form of cowardice, and, while it is true that the suicide braves death, he does it not for some noble object but to escape some ill. All human actions have one or more of these 7 causes: chance, nature, compulsions, habit, reason, passion, desire. Persuasion is achieved by the speaker's personal character. When the speech is so spoken as to make us think him credible, we believe good men more fully and more readily than others. This is true generally whatever the question is, and absolutely true where exact certainty is impossible and opinions are divided. If liberty and equality, as is thought by some, are chiefly to be found in democracy, they will be best attained when all persons alike share in government to the utmost. Democracy arises out of the notion that those who are equal in any respect are equal in all respects. Because men are equally free, they claim to be absolutely equal. Perfect friendship is the friendship of men who are good, and alike in excellence. For these wish well alike to each other qua good, and they are good in themselves. Both oligarch and tyrant mistrust the people, and therefore deprive them of their arms. We praise a man who feels angry on the right grounds and against the right persons, and also in the right manner at the right moment and for the right length of time. Man is the only animal capable of reasoning, though many others possess the faculty of memory and instruction in common with him. For though we love both the truth and our friends, piety requires us to honor the truth first. The most perfect political community is one in which the middle class is in control, and outnumbers both of the other classes. We become just by performing just action, temperate by performing temperate actions, brave by performing brave action. I have gained this from philosophy, that I do without being commanded what others do only from fear of the law.